Last time on Procrastination Limits. Pokemon Tall Grass. But the tall grass is everywhere. So no pause buffering to skip battles. They can't self-deprecate forever. In this world, it's kill or be killed. You will play by your own rules. Bring our score from 8 down to 6. Now back to the most pacifism without mercy challenge. As we go through Snowdin, trying to see how many monsters can we spare without using the mercy button, which of course means no sparing, but also no running away, as both of those are inside the mercy button. Here are the full list of rules. Well, now that we're out of the ruins, it's time to go through Snowdin. Now, the ruins are pretty easy, I'd say. Not like there's much... What was that? Well, I was saying, the ruins were a bit easy, so I hope Snowdin isn't that difficult either. As I feel like someone's following me or something. So, let's keep this train going. Hopefully we'll get no losses here, but who knows what's gonna happen. Oh, it's just sands. After meeting Sands and Papyrus, we continued through Snowdin. And at the first available save point, we're gonna, well, save. And we're just gonna continue on. We're also gonna click with Tough Glove, just in case we do need to fight. Anyways, the two brothers will meet us again, and we're gonna continue. We're gonna find our next monster. Snowdrake. Now, I imagine most of you would spare Snowdrake by laughing at their jokes. However, this still requires you to spare them with the mercy button. And if you watch the Ruins video, you might be aware that you're able to change encounters by just reloading the room after loading your save again. However, this does not work the same in Snowdin, where you see the first two encounters in Snowdin are predetermined. Your first one will always be Snowdrake, and your second one will always be Lesser Dog. After that, the encounters do change if you reload your save. But we're not out of luck, as Heckle is secretly a dice roll, and one of its faces is this narration. You tell Snowdrake that no one will ever love them the way they are. They struggle to make a retort, and sneak away utterly crushed. Yeesh, we're supposed to be pacifists here. So, continue on to our next forced encounter, being Doggo. Now, Doggo, you have two options to spare them. You can either pet them or throw the stick after dodging the first turn. But no matter how much you pet or throw the stick, the best you'll get is that Doggo will just get tired of being excited. But you're still forced to spare him. So, since we have no options here, other than to spare or fight, we're gonna go ahead and fight. Well, that's our first kill for Snowdin. Hopefully it's also our last. Here's a little thing that sort of helps in this challenge is ice. Simply, it's that since Undertale's enemy encounters are based off steps, lighting and ice does not increment the step counter. That's pretty much it. Anyway, after finishing this maze, we continue through more of Snowdin. And we're going to talk more about the ice cream guy in Waterfall. But here we're just going to go past through ball game and continue to the next area. After doing a really hard crossword and expressing our opinions, we reach our next save point. Now this save point is very valuable. First off, in the next room, you're forced an encounter. The skip counter is just too short to not get an encounter here. It'll most likely be Lesser Dog, where no matter how much you pet, sadly this must end in the most difficult way possible. Not even throwing the stick can save Lesser Dog, so it's time to do what I wish I didn't have to do. And after Lesser Dog, we're not done with enemy encounters here, as we're also forced to fight Doggy or Dog Marriage, or Dogami and Dogaressa, whatever name you choose for them. And similar to Lesser Dog and Doggo, using their normal spirit condition or using the stick will still require us to use Mercy to actually finish the fight, which, as you know by now, means that we're forced to fight in this challenge. We finish the fight, and we continue on. Right? Well, actually, no. You see, we have the power to reset, but we're not able to go around them. The bridge is just too small, and the cutscene trigger is way too big. So if we can't go around them, how do we go through them? You see, if we start a battle the very same frame we start the cutscene, strange things happen. As Frisk starts walking into position, the battle starts. I'll get back to this after the battle is over. As for the battle itself, it seems no matter what, I always encounter an ice cap, so we'll start with what to do with them first. If you ignore ice cap enough, you're able to steal their hat and turn them into ice. Which is sort of a win, right? But ice is still in the battle, and no matter how much we compliment them, they're still in here, so you know what we gotta do. As for Jerry, we just gotta ditch him. And now that that battle's over, we head straight down so we don't actually do the encounter with Dogami and Dogaressa, making it so we only have to fight twice instead of 3 times. Our cases being Lesser Dog and Ice Cap. Now, after solving these few puzzles and Papyrus using AI art, we get to our next save point. And after doing that, we're gonna reach this puzzle, and in the room right after, we're off to face Greater Dog. But you may assume, like the other dogs in Snowdin, that the battle will end with violence. But actually, Greater Dog is an exception to this rule. For if you use ignore enough times, Greater Dog will find you boring and simply leave the battle. It's as easy as that. And let's continue. Except, we're not done here. You see, there's not much left in the story as we're about to reach Snowdin Town. But there's still 2 more monsters that we can interact with. You see, if you head to this room south of the ice puzzle and continue through this path to enter this room. If you do your steps, eventually, and I do mean eventually, you'll fight Glide. First for Glide, we're gonna give them an applause. We're gonna do this twice so that they get addicted to it. Like every addict, eventually we have to teach them that they have to let go. So then we just do nothing. And Glide isn't so happy about it, but we gotta keep doing it. We gotta face some applause withdrawal. After the third time we do nothing, Glide looks elsewhere to find someone else to flatter their ego. But don't stay too long in this room, or else you'll fight off Gift Shop, which no matter how much you undecorate, and even if you give them a little gift, Gift Shop will not let you leave this battle without sparing them, which means we gotta use violence. But since we're able to skip Gift Shop even if we pass through this area to reach Glide, we do not add it to the count since we just don't do this battle. Now with everything done, we can now enter Snowdin Town, in which we're able to enter the end to get over max HP. Yeah, we have 36 out of 32. And something I didn't realize before is that we were able to actually sleep a second time to get even more HP. Now it's 38 out of 32. But sleeping a third time doesn't raise it even higher. Just something I thought you might be interested in. And you could try flirting and insulting, but they don't actually progress the fight. And I now realized that going into bed was a bit of a mistake. For you see, we actually don't want to win this fight. For Papyrus will have mercy on us if he almost gets us to 0 HP. And will end the battle peacefully by sending us to their shed. However, if we go back, Papyrus is still blocking the way and we're forced to battle again. But if we were to lose this time, we're sent back to the shed again. But if we go a third time to where Papyrus is blocking the way, you'll see that he actually offers to not fight you, and lets you go on your merry way. Now that Papyrus lets us go, we're able to go back to Snowdin and hang out with him. Doing so will not actually do much except give us access to his phone number. But we're also able to hang out with Sans, who also doesn't add much except show us the consequences of our actions. As the royal guards that you defeated with violence are going to be missing. In our case, that's Lesser Dog and Doggo. The only Doggo is mentioned to be missing. So with Lesser Dog gone, you're actually able to have access to this door that you cannot actually go through. And we're done with Snowdin. Almost. You see, since we were able to spare Papyrus, we have access to one new area. And that is under the sink. Now, what's under the sink actually changes based on which version of the game you're playing. And two versions in particular are very important for this challenge. I'm only going to talk about one of these right now, as technically you have access to this at all times, though it does take place in Snowdin. However, the other option does not open up until after you finish core. So, what is this mystery thing I'm talking about? Well, you see, not long before editing this video, the 10th anniversary stream for Undertale played, and with that, we got a new battle against Sans. And in doing so, that is one more battle we can do for this challenge. So, says here in the act that he won't even deal damage. Let's put that to the test. Well, guess we're done here. Okay, I know you don't want to see that, and technically, according to the stream itself, that's basically just Sans forcing you to run away, which, I mean, we don't allow run away in this challenge. So what if we try surviving till the end of the battle? Well, even surviving to the final attack doesn't actually benefit us, as Sans will do one last one for the road, and by that he'll bring a bulldozer to literally force you out of the battle. So, I'll leave this to you in the comments. Do you think this counts as a spare for this challenge, or do you think this counts as a runaway? If it counts as runaway, it won't affect the score neither positive or negatively, but if it counts as a spare, it will increment the counter by 1. So, it's up to you guys to decide whether or not this 1 point matters. But for now, let's go into our current score, what we are sure of. Back in the ruins, we managed to get a score of 6, meaning we spared 6 more enemies than we fought. In Snowdin, we were to spare 5 more enemies, being Snowdrake, Jerry, Raider Dog, Glide, and Papyrus, but also fought 3 more enemies, being Doggo, Lesser Dog, and Ice. So our score went up from 6 up to 8. Hopefully in Waterfall that number only goes even higher, but who knows what will happen with all the Undyne encounters and other enemies we may find. But we'll cross that bridge once we get there. For now, if you enjoyed watching the video, how about leave a like? If you want to see more content like this, like with the Waterfall video, subscribe so you don't get to miss it. Until then, see ya.